Good rhyme.
$1.25 trillion is what people of color, hip-hop, us, our people, the people who have the least amount of inclusion, the people who get the least amount of respect, we buy the most. You dig what I'm saying? So we don't have to force them to like us. We don't have to force them to accept us. But what we do have to do is stop spending our money with people who gonna continue to give you their ass to kiss. Why in the fuck you do that? For what? For what? We made that shit hot.
We should also make an effort to support owned businesses and stuff, because we have the net, we have ways of finding this info. So we talk a lot, but we can actually find certain businesses. For example, if we needed to buy, or if we wanted to buy a certain product, instead of just going to do your comfortable thing, why don't you take some time and actually find an owned business that actually has that product or a similar product to that and support that business and help them grow and then spread the word.
I agree with that. So I follow a few pages on Instagram that promote that. One is Buy Back the Block, Black Wealth, Black Movement, and Buy Black. There's a few pages, and that's what they talk about. They teach Black wealth, how to keep your money in your community, educate us, on our history so that we don't repeat the same, Willie Lynch syndrome we've been repeating for all these years. And it tells, places of where there are Black businesses. There are several Black banks. We have several Black doctors that we can go to. Even liquor. I just heard about Bombay Lemonade Liquor, vodka owned by a Black person. There's several Black restaurants in Atlanta that we could promote. And I'm from the South, so that's why I'm speaking of these certain places. But there's ways, like you say, to find these things out. And that's being pro-Black.
I say we the most contradicting race. We the most contradicting.
I want to say, I can't say we are the most because I don't go into great detail about other races. I don't know like that. I just try to, love my people.
I go off what I see. If you go to the county in Atlanta, you got one side of town that predominantly is Hispanic. They got their own nail shop. They got their own gas station, grocery store. People make jokes about how the Mexicans and, the Hispanics, they all stay in one house till they come up. You know what I'm saying? Black people, we know this, that we ain't finna play that. First thing we say, we got to my house.
But I think that also goes back to, like I was saying, the quote unquote Willie Lynch syndrome. They say it's not real. Some say it is real, but it's a state of mind. We have been picked apart, and that is something that happened over 100 years ago. So we're trying to some of us are trying to find our way back to loving each other, being as one. But, there's still a lot of separation there.
Still a lot of Black people telling on Black people's own jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds personal, Deanie.
that was a little.
I'm talking in general. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, you ain't never had a Black person tell the supervisor on getting a job about something that y'all could have talked about?
But I feel like, again, that's getting personal. I really haven't had that issue, but maybe I moved different. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that. But I think we're the most contradicting race. I do.
Look, I think a lot of us have been blinded, and it's not necessarily. I won't put all the blame on us because we can't always see where the distraction comes from. We can't always see this has been going on for years. Like you have, you go all the way back to political groups that got infiltrated. You go back to marches and things where you had somebody stand out in the group to manipulate a group of people to do stuff that was unnecessary. Things like that. You always got certain things working to keep people divided, so to speak.
I think a lot of things play a part in that, with one being jealousy and the other being money. Those two things people have to set aside in order to come together.
We see it all the time on social media and all this stuff. People was just so focused on money. Oh, look at my outfit. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that.
Hold on.
You don't see that.
See, this is the thing about there is a distraction on social media and elsewhere. If people realized as much stuff as they big up, as much stuff as they represent, like all these different logos and shouting out and name dropping brands that don't really want to have anything to do with
Care
them.
nothing about you. Exactly.
If they twisted that, turned that around to their own folks, if they found out, and that's another disconnection, if you actually just turned around to your own people, because it's always been said that we are the ones to make things cool. We are the ones to do this and that. And we give a lot of publicity to things. So why don't you take that same amount of, take that and go support Black owned businesses? Why can't you do that? Why can't you support Black designers? Rock some of their stuff. Name drop them, put them out there. You can do things like that.
Right. I mean,
I think what we as people, we always want to be included in places that we never were. That's the same thing with buying designers that we was told we could, or we felt we could not afford, or being in places that we felt that we were not accepted. I don't know what channel or where this was, but I saw there was this Black guy, I want to stay in the state of North Carolina, that wanted to be in this gun club, and he was denied access. It was like this prestigious gun club. You have to have a membership. It was an all-white gun club. He was going to be the first Black person in the gun club. All his quote-unquote friends said he should do it, and he was denied, and he's talking about it. And I'm like, why do you feel the need to be accepted by people who are not like you? Like, why does that matter? Why would you even apply to something and you be the only Black person there? If you love guns and you want a club that bad, create your own club. Why do we have to keep trying to fit in where we're not wanted?
Same thing goes for the award shows as well. That's one thing that goes big for the award shows. And you keep seeing it, like even to this day, where people feel like they have to be accepted and always complaining about what they don't do and what they won't allow and why this person hasn't gotten this and that. That's their thing. Until we have something that's for us, by us, then that's what you're going to continuously get. And you've been getting it for a long time. It's been many years. We
did have something for us, by us, and nobody cared about it. I mean, that was an actual brand at one point. Nobody seemed to care.
It's back.
FUBU is back? Okay.
Yeah, I'm a master Facebook brand with a guy that actually models that brand.
Okay, well, that's good.
In a little bit of defense, though, I will support ours no matter what, but I'm saying there's a little history with the for us, by us thing back in the past. So I would just go over that before going. But I'm glad they're back. I'm glad they're back. I'm glad Carl Kanai is doing his thing and a few other. But yeah, a lot of us don't know that they're back.
I'm not gonna lie.
What looks good?
The clothes look good. I ain't gonna lie.
She's pretty plain to me. But
is that what you just said?
Looks good.
That's the problem, man.
I'm not. I mean,
that's one thing. I really don't care, with all respect, how quote unquote good they supposed to, whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, most of these brands is just the name. It's just the dynasties behind it and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm.
And you can really make anything look good.
Yeah.
I mean, we can say something about jewelry though. Some people say it look good, but we still wear it.
What's that?
Jewelry.
Jewelry?
Yeah, we can say the same about that.
I mean, look, I've spoken on the jewelry thing on a rapper's topic, and I really think that if it's not us, and this is not anti anybody else, by the way. I just want to make that clear as I'm making this point here, that it's not anti anybody else. I just feel like if it's not us, I'm not really going that deep into it. If it's not us, like I'm not going to be just throwing money anywhere. Because as I said,
I agree.
In that convo, the people that are behind these rappers and the videos or whatever, that they're smiling ear to ear. They know that their hustle is you. They know you have no clue about doing your own or even trying to do your own or trying to find your own, trying to find your people and support them. They know this, and they take great advantage of you all not knowing and not trying to know, not trying to build or anything. Just come to them. Just give it all to them. They love all this stuff. I see people when they go on these radio shows or, whatever shows they go on, and they're all this name brand, all this high designer stuff, and they're just doing that freely, If you can do that, you got to be able to do your own and really focus on that.
What if they can wear that and then still put in their community, still create jobs in their community and so forth and so on for their people? Then what? Is that cool, or is that you're still against that?
I'm going to just say this. Well, I guess for me personally, I would probably be the wrong person to ask because I'm not even into that stuff. Like, I'm not into none of the name, like all the brands you see out here today that people are constantly throwing up here and there and just swearing by this stuff. I'm not into any of that. I'm not into the $200. No, not against anybody who is. I'm not into those typical names, sneakers and all that type of stuff. That's just not me. I'm different all the way around. So I don't think that question could be presented to me. But what I will say is that, for example, the SUB What show, I forget the comedian's name on there, but he actually talks a good bit about it. And he says how he goes out of his way to make sure if it's anything he needs, he's going to seek it from something that's Black owned. And he's going to go out of his way to help his sister if he sees his sister is in need in whatever situation may be. But that's what he's about. If he can help it, he's going to seek out whatever it is that he needs that's Black owned.
So I guess to answer that question, Deanie, if you are doing something such as promoting a brand, I guess you should ask yourself, how does that help my people?
No, what I'm saying is it's okay to wear that type of clothing, but you still doing it for your community.
I'm saying if wearing that clothing helps your community, why not? If it doesn't hurt your community, why not? But it's kind of like, what's the point of a $1,500 shirt?
Somebody can say, what's the point of going to a club? You see what I'm saying? I'm buying a bottle at the club. You know what I mean?
Now, if this is a Black-owned club, then you are helping your fellow brother. But, I mean, if you're putting money back into somebody else's pocket who, when they leave there, give two F's about you, then you're not doing anything productive. And I feel like that's kind of like the point that V was making.
Exactly what I was saying.
If you're buying a $1,500 Gucci shirt and Gucci doesn't care anything about you, doesn't donate to your community or any community that you know of, then what is your point? You put money in the pocket of somebody who cares nothing about you.
I see what you're saying, but we got people that go to, I don't know who these club owners be owned by, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people who don't club can say, just like somebody saying, they spending $1,500 on a shirt, then they can say, well, they blowing their money at the club.
Okay, I feel like it's the same difference.
Either way, you still blowing money. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
I'm gonna put it like this, because that gets brought up like, okay, well, if it costs this much, if it costs that much, if it's giving to people in my community, if it costs that amount that, people are paying for this other stuff, but it's to my community, I'm for that. I'm with that. You see what I'm saying? Okay. If I like it that much and I'm feeling it like that, then I'm going to support that from my community. I ain't against nothing else anybody else is doing out there, but I'm saying that I know that this contributes to mine. You know what I'm saying? And we need that because we keep making the same mistake year after year with the same BS. You just see it all the time. You see everybody is focused on people that already are established, multi-billionaire industries that's already established. And we forget about our own. We forget about where we're, what we have and where we're at, even in the community.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying? So that's just the way I feel about that when you're talking about a money situation. I'm not into a lot of that type of stuff to begin with, but if I choose to, I'm going to make sure I find a Black-owned company to purchase that from.
I agree. And I feel like I should do more of that myself. It's so convenient to go to the big businesses. It's so convenient to just go there because it's a one-stop shop. But the customer service has went down, and it can go down because we continue to go to these places instead of going somewhere where somebody actually may care how you feel about their services or their product.
Or if there's,
but if you can buy black, buy black.
I mean, I'm just about, supporting our own. In the case of a certain situation, you got to do what you got to do. You know, not everything. I can throw up any little thing. I remember somebody brought up, oh, well, if you're buying potato chips, that's the same thing and blah, 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 blah. Man, we're not talking about a bag of potato chips. You know, we're talking about like real general stuff that's on their mind every day. That's something that they constantly are paying attention to. I mean, something little as a bag of potato chips, we're not talking about that. You know, we're talking about real stuff. But yeah, that's just the way I feel about it. Regardless, I still look to support our own. And you may not know of something that's open at time of night. So go ahead and do what you got to do. But you can always find out later.
Right. If McDonald's and Walmart is your go-to every time, then
yeah,
you are the one I'm talking about.
yeah. Yeah. You don't have to purposely, if you make it an effort to do anything else that you want to do or you're going to do, then you can make an effort to find Black-owned locations around you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
After the grind comes the grind.